Welcome back to TV5 News at 9. Time now for Aging in Style with Vitale Wealth Management. And joining us now, we got President and owner Joe Vitale. So, Joe, thanks for coming in.
You're welcome. Good morning, Blake. How you doing?
Good morning. Good. Thanks for being here, of course.
For sure.
And don't forget to get Joe's newsletter, Financial Vitals, for all the latest in market trends and financial news. This QR code on your screen, you can scan it just to get right to the access. But today's topic is how politics and world events can affect retirement plans. So we got some rhetoric surrounding the election, of course,
for sure,
every day. So what do we need to do to keep our investments on track?
First thing is to keep your head, right?
Yeah.
Everybody says, oh my gosh, Joe, what if they win? What if they win? What's going to happen? The market's going to go to horrible proportions. We better get everything out of the market. We better, it's the end of the world. We've heard that almost every election cycle, right? I mean, I don't care which side of the fence you're on, I hear it every time. But when you find history, regardless of what happens, yes, sometimes it's better than others, depending on the policies, of course. But if we have a divided, Senate, divided Congress, that's going to help because we got gridlock. We really need that because you have to have that checks and balances. If it's all one or the other, then certain programs are going to go through, which maybe is not going to be good. So the good news is, when you look at history, regardless of the cycle, we should still have a positive year next year. Again, depending, there's a lot of other things going around in the world. But we're just like, keep your head. Make sure everything's properly allocated, right? What do we talk about all the time? And that's the problem, because if it's not, that's when things like this happen. Emotions get involved. People are like, oh my gosh, and all of a sudden they lose their mind and they make decisions that they shouldn't be making. So that's where we come in, keep your head, take the emotions out of it, make sure we have a systematic approach.
Not so rash. Yeah, irrational.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so with all the uncertainty over in the Middle East, we got plenty of wars going on. Is that affecting the market at all? Well,
a lot of things is that every time that happens, you're going to see the oil prices spike, right? Because they're going to have, Iran's going to do something with oil. And so that's what makes prices go up. You see them at the pump a little higher, we're getting down, now they're up. They go back and forth. But the biggest thing is how much control is there, right? But yes, that does have something to do with it. It also has different spending, depending on the wars, how much goes over there. It does. There's always something that's going to affect the market. And that's kind of where I'm coming back to, circling back to. Regardless of what's happening, we're always going to have things that are going to affect it. And some are going to affect it more than others. But what does history tell us? The history tells us 2/3 of the time we have a positive market or so the negative. But if we do have that negative, just make sure we have healthy amounts of money and safety. When we talk about allocations, we talk about safety, making sure we got safe money, not going to be affected by the market, that we can always attach. And that's where we kind of come in to make sure that's done.
Okay. Are your clients bringing up any concerns about, where they're at right now?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Which, right? They're like, oh my gosh, so if this happens, we got to put everything in cash. We got to put it in the mattress, and we're got to go into gold and Bitcoin, and what do we? Well, yeah, well, okay, oh, the dollar's going to go to zero. What if the dollar goes to zero, Joe? Well, then you're going to have a whole mattress full of nothing. Yeah. So why would you do that, right? So it's the concerns is we don't know what's going to happen. We can't live like that. Nobody's got the crystal ball. But I don't mind having different asset classes. Have different asset classes if you want to. If you have the risk, if you really want to play that gamble with Bitcoin, knock yourself out. We've got actively managed portfolios that have blockchain, that have AI, so they're great and they're actively managed. So you have a little bit more control of the matter. There's still a risk, right? But you can do that. How about gold? Is there gold ETFs? Yes, we have gold portfolios, which are doing great, by the way, because gold is up at all-time highs right now. We're at almost $2,700 an ounce, which is huge.
Wow.
So there are definitely things. I like having diversification. It's a great strategy. It's always a great strategy. Never put your eggs in one basket. That's when people get hurt, right? Yeah. So have a little bit of everything. I talk to a lot of my clients like my own portfolio. Yes, I have a little bit. I don't mind that. I'll tell anybody what I got, and it's because I don't know. I know what they tell us, and I know what our team does, and I know how we invest everything. But who knows? I mean, I can't handle the geopolitical climates, so just make sure you're diversified.
And it's simple as that. So you brought up the Bitcoin gold. Is that like a base by base or case by case?
It really is. And sometimes I'd say if you feel comfortable, take maybe 10% of your portfolio and put it in something like that. I mean, you're younger, Blake, so you can go as harsh as you want to there, But a lot of times as you get older, especially a lot of my clients when they're getting into retirement and in retirement, that risk tolerance is gone, But some of them still have that. They're like, hey, I'm 55, I'm 65 years old, I got time. fine, put 10% in Bitcoin and blockchain. Why not?
Yeah.
It's a gamble, but what are you going to do? Everything's a gamble anymore.
That's right.
Yeah.
All right. Good way to look at it. So if anyone's just joining us, could you recap a little bit on what someone could do to keep track of all their retirement with all this going on?
The best way to do it is a lot of people try to go on their own, right? And God love them. I mean, I think it's awesome, especially a lot of my engineer clients, so intelligent and they're so systematic. That's great. However, I would never do engineering because that's not my background.
Right.
And a lot of them are very, very smart, but they don't have all the resources that we have. So what's a great way to recap? Get with somebody who has all the diversification strategies. Look at tax strategies. I mean, even though it's not on the agenda today, but we're talking about tax strategies are something we got to look at right now. We have to look at geopolitical. We have to look at proper diversification, look at other asset classes, just making sure that you're diversified and making sure that you have everything at your disposal. And that's what we bring in is like, yes, we're fee-based, so we're not a huge fee, but at the same token, what our team brings in with all of our CPAs and CFPs and everything that we have, we're able to really put them in a good position and make sure that they have that peace of mind, that sleep at night insurance, right? Yeah. And that's important because whether we have Bitcoin, whether we have blockchain, whether we have gold, whether it's the war, whether it's oil prices, and look at what's happening down south right now with everything down there. I mean, God help them. We're praying for those people, right? And this could happen to any of us. So all these things drive prices. A lot of things drive a lot of things. So you just never know what's going to happen. But with proper diversification, proper allocation, getting all of your biggest thing is emotions out of your investing, you're going to be fine.
Well, Joe, thank you for bringing some of the tips and advice for some of our viewers.
My pleasure, Blake. Good to be here.
Yeah, thank you. And don't forget, before we go, to get those market updates and more through Joe's newsletter, Financial Vitals. And if you want more information on today's topic, you can head over to our Aging in Style page. That's on our website, WNEM.com.